Welcome to BR Story Time. In today's video we are going to see the story of Mrs. Pepperpot. Mrs. Pepperpot was a little old lady who lived in a tiny cottage in the countryside. She had a magical power that allowed her to shrink down to the size of a pepperpot at unexpected moments. One day, as she was out picking berries in the forest, she heard a cry for help. It was a tiny frog who had gotten stuck in a puddle and couldn't get out. Mrs. Pepperpot knew she had to help. Without hesitation, she shrank down to her miniature size and jumped into the puddle. With all her might, she pushed against the water and managed to create a wave that lifted the frog to safety. But as she tried to climb out of the puddle herself, she realized she was too small to reach the edge. She was trapped. Luckily, a friendly bumblebee saw her and offered to help. He grabbed hold of Mrs. Pepperpot with his strong legs and flew her back to her cottage. Mrs. Pepperpot was grateful for the bee's help and offered him a cup of tea as a thank you. As she poured the tea, she suddenly started growing back to her normal size. The bee was surprised but delighted to see that Mrs. Pepperpot was no longer tiny. From that day on, Mrs. Pepperpot continued to use her magical power to help others in need, but she always made sure to have a teapot nearby, just in case she needed to grow back to her normal size. Thanks for watching.